Today, I'm talking The Tomorrow War, which is a movie that just got released on Amazon Prime. And man alive, I have a lot to talk about with this film, and so you're going to want to stick around for the whole review. I'm going to talk about the good, I'm going to talk about the bad, and this will be spoiler free. I think everybody needs to go into this movie and experience them for themselves. And I walked away shocked at what I just watched. And that could either be good, it could be bad. I will tell you, I saw a little blurb about this movie before I saw it. Someone reviewed it yesterday. I can't remember if it was IGN or one of these companies, but they gave it a 5 out of 10 and said it was a stupid movie. So I was a little worried going into it. It is a direct release on Amazon Prime. So if you have Prime, it is free. It's not going to cost you a dime. This movie was directed by Chris McKay, who has worked on the Lego Batman movies and a few other things. And it stars Chris Pratt, who plays Dan Forrester in the film. He's a father who's got a wife, a daughter. He's an ex-military guy. He's been in the war in the past, and he's a scientist, and he's actually trying to get a job, and things are just not working out for him. You have Yvonne, her name is Yvonne Strahovski. She plays Romeo Command in the film, someone that Chris Pratt teams up with when they end up going into the future, and we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. But she's best known as she was the female agent on Chuck, and she was also in the final season of Dexter, someone he fell in love with and actually left his son with. So she's been around in a few places as well. The last person in the film is J.K. Simmons. He's the last big name that you'll recognize. He actually plays Chris Pratt's father in the film, James Forrester. I'm going to give you the basic plot of the film, and then I'm going to talk about what worked and what didn't. This stars Chris Pratt, and he's kind of a down-and-out family guy, and things aren't going his way. And this all takes place right around the holidays when this weird event happens on the soccer field, and these people end up coming from the future through some portal, telling everybody that there's this war in the future, 30 years in the future, and that they need to draft people from our time to go back and fight these aliens that, not people, but aliens that are taking over the planet and are going to destroy and totally wipe out the planet. You find out there's only 500,000 people left in the world, and so they're recruiting people to go back and fight. Now, since this is a time travel movie, that opens the door for a lot of major issues that could occur from a storyline like this. And the good news is they definitely try to they address these issues pretty much right away when the movie starts. And well, not when it starts, but when they have to go back and they talk about this, they do end up giving you information to kind of alleviate people's thoughts of the way time travel could work. I mean, you find out basically, and these are minor spoilers, I'm not going to give you anything major, but the people going to fight in the future are people who are already going to die between now and 30 years from now. So there's no type of paradox. They talk about how the time jump works and how they can't go back further in time. And it basically has to do with, 1 point here, 1 point here, and they're both moving forward. So you can't go back in time, but you can start from that time or move forward. And so they kind of definitely put a lock on the rules of what can and cannot happen in the film, which is good because those things could absolutely destroy a movie. So the thing that was weird and I didn't really like about the beginning is they don't prepare the people going back well enough. They don't give them any real training. And they send them back with weapons that are definitely not going to help in the fight. And when these aliens finally do show up, and it's, just be warned, it's about 45 minutes into the film. Holy freaking crap. These are probably the scariest aliens we have ever seen on film. I think I've finally seen a movie that that definitely overtakes what James Cameron did in Aliens. This is kind of like Aliens on steroids. There's no question about that. And the movie escalates. They're there for a reason to try and take these aliens out. And that's all I'm going to tell you. I don't want to tell you any more about the plot. I want you to go in and find out how the movie progresses. You do, during that time frame when Chris Pratt goes to the future, he does end up meeting with Yvonne Strahovski, who is the head of the command who's in charge there. And they end up teaming up to do what needs to be done. And it leads to some really amazing scenes. This movie should have been released on Father's Day, and you'll understand when you see the movie what I mean. They missed the mark by releasing it now. It's July 2nd. This should have been released on Father's Day. And holy crap, here's what I'll tell you. I think this movie is going to end up being the best movie of the summer. I don't think there's going to be anything that tops this movie. I just got done watching it in my theater, and I am exhausted. This movie is crazy awesome. It's got amazing special effects. It is a Paramount film, so they definitely did not skimp on the budget on this film. I will tell you that. There are just a few things that I don't like about the movie, and then I'll give you my final score on this and talk about what I really loved. So this movie is going to be somewhat preposterous. I mean, everybody's got to know that going in. With anything that deals with time travel, aliens, you know things are going to get a little weird in some points. But even with that and the rules that they set forward, there are a couple of scenes in the film that really pull you out of the world that they've created and are just preposterous. And that is what is going to give me a half a star less than what I would give this film, is because those moments could have been changed and maybe executed a little bit better. And you'll see those kind of cheesy moments in the film because, I mean, they're during some very big scenes. So it's not like a little scene here or a little scene there. These are integral to the movie moving forward and in some of the biggest action sequences in the film. And so especially at the very end, the very, very end, it's a little over the top, but it doesn't ruin the movie for me in any way, shape, or form because of everything that came before and what they established. So this movie has an incredible score. The guy who did the score, I had his name up. I've never heard of this individual before, but his name is Lorne Balfe or Balfe. I don't know how you say his name. I've never heard music from him or know of any movies that he's been in. And I'm pulling up his on IMDb and I'm pulling up his information here. I didn't bother to pull it up to see what he has done in the past. But it looks like he has done some work for Sherlock Holmes, The Dark Knight in 2008, Megamind, a few things. So he's done music, and he was the composer for Megamind as well as the Batman Lego movie and the Lego movie, I believe. So he has been around. He's done a few things for music, but this score is amazing. I'm actually going to be buying this score. It is something I would love to listen to. I collect movie scores, and this is definitely going to be added to my list. That was probably my favorite part of the film. It really added the weight that needed to be added to the scenes where it was integral to the story. So the music is absolutely phenomenal. It fits the movie, the music, or fits the movie, the mood, the emotion. I'm not going to lie, I teared up a little bit in this film. It's very emotional in a couple of scenes, way more than what I was expecting. And so the film was good. At the end of the day, it's not perfect. Some of the logic is a little weird, and I'm not going to get into spoilers in this film, but watch it, enjoy it. It's definitely a summer blockbuster popcorn film that holds its own weight. So at the end of the day, I give this movie a solid 4.5 stars. I'd love to give it 5, but because of those few moments that pull you away from what they've established, I couldn't give it a 5-star rating, and because of the logic behind a couple of things. But outside of that, this movie's amazing. The thing that gets me the most is I don't know why they're sending these people into the future to fight without the proper weapons. Their weapons definitely aren't powerful enough, and they would know this, having sent people back and been doing this for a while to grab people from our time to bring to the future. They would know that these weapons aren't going to work, and I just don't believe that they would ever bring them there and send them there without the correct firepower to deal with them. And then their explanation as to why there's no pictures and video to give people in today's time, kind of a heads up as to what they're getting themselves into, I thought was a pretty poor explanation. So it's a few things like that and those cheesy moments that make me knock it down a half a star. But outside of that, the acting is great. The special effects are phenomenal. The aliens are incredible. The amount of intensity in the film is off the charts crazy. And the music is phenomenal. So this is a pretty well put together film. You can't go wrong by watching The Tomorrow War, which is streaming exclusively on Amazon Prime, starring Chris Pratt. Go check it out. Hey, if you like the video, please subscribe, share the video. I appreciate all the support. We'll see you guys on the next one.